Hi, my name's Marina Akamatsu, and welcome back to another episode of AML Backstage. Today I'm here with Dr. Arianne Johnson-Quinn, the head of Music Special Collections at the Allen Music Library. Welcome. Okay, so can you tell us a little about yourself? Where are you from? Where did you go to school, and etc.?
Well, I grew up in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and I did my undergraduate degree in music performance at the University of New Mexico there, and before pursuing graduate degrees in music and women's studies at Brandeis University, and completed my PhD at Princeton University in 2019.
Wow. What was your primary instrument in performance?
Piano.
Piano. Okay, that's so much fun. Did you grow up in Albuquerque?
I did, yes. And I miss it.
You miss it? Yeah. What was your favorite part about it?
Everything. The desert, the mountains, the food, the people. It's a very, very colorful place. Not that Tallahassee isn't.
Yeah. I went to Santa Fe a couple of times before, and New Mexico is just gorgeous. Yeah.
It is.
Can you tell us a little about what you do here at the Music Library?
So here in the Music Library, I am a Music Special Collections Librarian. My primary responsibilities revolve around sorting our special collections, organizing them to make them available to our patrons, our students, faculty, and staff. And I also promote special collections as well. So if you come into the library and you're looking to do primary source research for a thesis project or an article, more than likely I am one of the people that you will talk to, and I will help you find things.
What's your favorite part about working at the Music Library?
My favorite part so far about working here is the people. We have a lot of great staff. We have a lot of wonderful patrons who come in to see us as well, and I love being able to interact with people in the College of Music on a daily basis.
Right, that's definitely my favorite part too. Also the donuts on Friday.
Absolutely. Friday is donut day. It's a good day.
It's the best. Describe your perfect night out. This could include going to the symphony, just staying in, or maybe even going clubbing.
Oh my goodness. I think back in my youth, I went to a club one time as a music major. So I think nights out were not really a thing because you're always performing when you're a music major. Yeah. So my favorite is actually a night in, which would involve takeout and Netflix. Very, very exciting.
Yeah, no, I totally get that. What led you to work here at the Music Library?
So I was actually, before I started here, I was on the honors program faculty here at Florida State for a couple of years, and I was working as an archivist for a theater archive in Britain for several years. So when this position opened, it was a perfect fit as a musician, music librarian, and archivist.
Right. Did you work with any particularly interesting materials as an archivist?
Oh yes. I worked for the Theater Estate Archive of Noel Coward, and so the archive holds almost all of the papers related to his life and work, diaries, photographs, things like that. And occasionally you'll find weird things in the archives as well, so that's always fun.
Right, yeah. That sounds like a scary job to me. I feel like I would set it on fire somehow.
I felt that way when I first started working as an archivist as well. But at the heart of it, archives are about people. So when you work with archives and when you try and make them accessible, you're helping make people's lives accessible.
Right. That's really interesting. What is your favorite artist? This can be music, visual, any sensory kind of thing.
My favorite artist, which if you come into the music library, you'll see my alter ego on our bulletin board downstairs, is actually Barbra Streisand.
Oh.
And Barbra Streisand has been my favorite artist since I discovered her at 11 when I first saw Funny Girl. And I still think nobody compares. You can fight me, but I think nobody compares to her.
That's amazing. So when did you decide to go down this career path?
I think on some level I always knew that I wanted to work in music libraries. I started doing music research very early on in my days as an undergraduate student, and I did an honors thesis, which I know a lot of our students do as well. And so for me it was a matter of timing. I worked in libraries whenever I could, whenever I had the opportunity to, and was really something that I wanted to do for the last 14, 15 years.
Oh, wow. If students are interested in this kind of work, and what advice would you give them in their undergraduate to get experience or to learn more about this kind of thing?
That's a really great question. I think one of the things that's really important if you're interested in working in a library is to just start working in a library. I think more specifically, if you're interested in special collections and archives, there are a lot of opportunities here at Florida State for sure to take museum classes, to take as much training as you can, but also internships, things that you can do as well. But the other big piece, aside from the employment side and getting experience with hands-on work, is learning how to do research, because the better informed you are as a researcher, the more those skills shine through, then the better you will be as an archivist, and the better able you are to help patrons. And that's what it's about, because you're facilitating research. So if you're interested in this, do a thesis, go into an archive, ask the hard questions, and do the research.
That's really interesting. This is just a question about research. It might be a very broad question. But what do you think are like the most important components of conducting research? Like, when you break it down to its most important elements?
It's a really good question. It seems broad, but the biggest thing in doing effective research is asking good questions. You need to be open-minded. Your instincts as a researcher will be more finely honed the more you do research, but you need to approach things with an open mind. So if you walk into an archive and you look at a set of papers that belongs to a composer, it's really important that you know something about the composer on a basic level, but you don't approach it with set expectations. And letting the archives and the archival material speak to you is the biggest factor in doing research, so that you learn to draw conclusions. And then the other big piece is making sure that you know the landscape. So reading work of other scholars, making sure you know what's out there, what's current in the field, whatever that is. And this is, if you're just starting research, the undergraduate level, where your faculty can really help a lot, because you can ask them, what should I be reading?
Right,
you can ask them, who are some scholars that you know? What have they written? What have they done? And the faculty are a huge resource to you in that way. So it's both keeping an open mind and walking in and being able to do that research yourself, and also not being afraid to ask questions of the faculty who are here to help you.
That's great. What I find so amazing at FSU is our huge database, especially online for research.
Yes.
It's kind of unbelievable to me that we can like access all of that. It's just crazy that you can go online and find all this stuff that maybe 50 years ago you'd have to like go overseas to get.
Not even 50 years ago. It's been really shocking. When I started doing dissertation work several years ago, I had to physically go into archives to get newspapers. And a lot of my research is theater-based, and so I look at reception history and I need newspapers.
Right.
And I had to walk in and pull them and wait for them and take photos or wait for the scans. And now, even the last couple of years, I can click and access these things immediately.
Right.
And that work has been done because you have people like myself that are going in and scanning and tagging and making sure that those things are available to you.
I feel especially during COVID and like the shutdown kind of thing, people placed more of an emphasis on like the technological aspects and access to things. So like while this was an incredibly difficult time because of the virus, I feel like we made some great technological advancements when it comes to that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And now we are, I think, rethinking that. We'll see that in the next few years. How can we continue to provide access to our patrons and facilitate things for people so that they don't have to get on a plane and travel? That's
Right.
nice, and there's something really great about that. But on the other hand, it's also great to be able to provide things where people are.
Right, yeah. Well, thank you so much. This has been so
Thank
much
you.
fun to talk to you. Thank you so much for watching. This was a great interview experience, and we hope you can join us next time.